All right, what's up, guys? So I want to talk to some of you guys that are on the new Earn Your Carb challenge. Not really challenge, but the macros. Um, so I'm having a lot of people saying they're having a hard time hitting the protein, which I'm having a hard time understanding why you're having a hard time hitting the protein. Um, when when we're trying to hit that protein, what you need to do is your first meal a day should be higher in protein and fats. Because I know a lot of you are low carb for 4 days, and then you go that high carb on your fourth day. Okay, so on your low days, your fat is much higher. So on those low days, you need to eat the fattier meats, which would be the top of the list that I gave you. Okay, so we're talking like bison, beef, New York strips, ribeyes, stuff like that. Okay, eggs, whole eggs, not egg whites. That's going to help you, get into that protein number a lot easier. Okay, now when you're on your days that it's low carb days, you're only going to eat your carbohydrates post workout. Okay, try to, because most of you are in the range from 26 to 39 grams. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is either with your ignition, which would be half a scoop for most of you. For the guys, it's going to be about 3/4 of a scoop. Or you could do like a banana post-workout, okay, without ignition. Now on your high carb days, your fat's going to be a little lower, right? So what you want to do is you want to have your protein sources come from the less fattier meats, right? So that would be your chicken, your shrimp, scallops, your turkey, deli turkey, stuff like that. Okay, so in a sense, you're not getting into a lot of the fat, and because what's going to happen is if you start eating the darker meats that are higher in fat, you're going to end up having more protein left at the end of the day, but hardly any fat. And then you're going to be like, oh shit, how am I going to get the rest of this protein in and not go over my fats? Okay, so you got to kind of figure it out, as far as what protein sources you're going to have on high days, on your high carb days, and your low carb days. Okay. Again, this is not carb cycling whatsoever. This is more cycling fats and proteins than we are anything. Okay, and the reason your protein is so high is because we need that protein to be really high to facilitate, burning the fat, because protein's a lot harder to digest for our bodies. So in turn, it makes our metabolism work twice as hard to process the proteins. Okay. So, again, and if you have to utilize some level 1 or some shakes to get that number down on your protein, that's fine. Just realize that when you have a level 1, it does have some carbohydrates in it, okay? Don't worry about that. Just get the protein in. And yes, when you log it into MyFitnessPal, it's going to show that your level 1, may push you over your carbohydrate number, but those carbohydrates that are in the level 1 are not the kind of carbohydrates that you need to worry about. Those are basically net carbs. Okay, they're pointless carbohydrates. They don't do anything to your insulin. They don't raise your sugar levels. None of that stuff. Okay, so don't worry about that. Second is on your high carb days, which is not really high because most of you are right around 120 grams. Okay. The easiest way to get those in is stick to the list that I gave you, the low glycemic stuff, peaches, pears, any apples, bananas. Bananas is better post workout, stuff like that. Okay, just kind of get those in as you go. Make sure you're weighing and measuring. Maybe 15 to 20% of your carbohydrate number for that day. Divide that up into each meal. Okay, maybe 15 to 20%. So if you're at 20%, that's basically about 24 grams per meal. Okay, that's how that would work out. All right, divided by, I don't know, that would be close to 5 meals, 6 meals. Okay, if you eat that much. Otherwise, you could bump that up just a little bit, or you could just save it all for post workout, which is what I do. Okay. The biggest thing is that we're hitting those numbers and not going over more than 5, plus 5 or minus 5 on each macronutrient. Okay, micro. And really, if you're weighing and measuring everything, you should know where you're at. Okay, you can put all that stuff into MyFitnessPal before the day even starts, so you have an idea of where you're at. All right. So hopefully this makes a little more sense. If not, I'll try to do something maybe a little more detailed. Write it on the whiteboard or something. If you're struggling, just come in and talk to me before it's too late. Right? This new protocol works really, really well. I know Jen's having a great go with it. She's doing well. There's several people that are doing really well. But you got to hit those numbers and stick with it. Okay, don't get frustrated. A lot of you are just learning how to log food and whatnot. So again, if you have any questions, hit me up and we'll talk soon. Bye.